There we go. Thank you so much. Let's get that fixed. Thank you guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, so as you can see, new setup. And put my microphone on properly. Why do I always forget to put on my microphone, huh? So 11 people in the room. Thank you so much for joining me, folks. That's really, really cool. I hope you like this new setup. As I was showing you, I was just doing a little read here to demonstrate what I think I'm going to be doing a little bit more of going forward with the channel. So I was thinking that on Wednesdays I could do a general read, the kind of read that you could just listen to and pick up any tips specifically on finances, on trades, on commerce, on career, on travel as well, basically anything to do with Mercury, right? So that would happen on Wednesdays. And I know you might be thinking to yourself, but Denny, that would not be a personal reading. And you're right, it wouldn't be a personal reading. It would be a very general reading that you would be able to listen to and go, okay, this part definitely doesn't apply to me, but this part, yeah, really, really resonates, or whatever. Spirits of Money course. All right, Ayush, I'll take a look at that in a moment. Okay. So thank you. And so what I was thinking of possibly doing today. So that would be Wednesdays. I haven't actually finished talking about the whole schedule, right? Then on Thursdays, let me just bring up the exact schedule that I created here. So let me see. So nothing on Thursdays. On Fridays, I would do a general Venus tarot read. Relational, right? So relational, so this would be romantic relationships, relation to yourself, so personal psychology, the way you relate to the world around you, friends and family, things like this, right? Relational, Venus related read. And these reads, I'm thinking, would last maybe 40 minutes. Who knows? I might not have enough for 5 minutes. I have no idea, right? So I haven't done this yet. And it was kind of what I was proposing to experiment with today, using the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, which I have unsleeved, so that you can actually see them when they're on the table and they won't reflect too much, because my beautiful Terra Volatile deck, you can see it just reflects the light. It's not great, right? And I don't want to unsleeve my Terra Volatile deck. So who knows? Maybe when this idea really takes off and I'm making millions, then I'll buy several Terra Volatile decks and I'll be able to destroy them all in the process. But it's very, very easy to get hold of a Rider-Waite-Smith deck. This is the Centennial edition with all the nice original colors rather than those super oversaturated colors. And yeah, and they don't reflect the light quite so much, right? So that would be Wednesdays and Fridays. So Wednesdays Mercurial, Fridays would be Venus. Then on Fridays, I would also record the news videos, the esoteric news videos that I've been doing every week. I'd record those on Fridays. So far I'd been recording those on Thursdays, and then all the news would tend to come out on the Friday, and then I'd have to wait another week before it all came out. So now I would record that on the Friday and make it available to all members. Yeah. and then I would make that video available on Saturday, which is when most people watch those news videos anyway, right? So most of the views come from Saturday. So if I record them on Friday, when actually all the news is coming out, make those available to members on the Friday so that you'll get the juicy news before anyone else, you know, and you can actually pounce on those short run limited edition books and so on. And then I would make that available to everyone on Saturday. So far we've got videos for Wednesday, Friday and Saturday. And then on Sundays, I would do a solar tarot read. And so that would be a little bit more esoteric, a little bit more spiritual, right? About magic, about the spiritual path. And that would be exclusive for level 3 and up members, right? So members who are paying $10 and more per week. And then on the first Saturday of every month, I'm thinking of maybe doing a short guided meditation, like a 15-minute guided meditation, which would give you a little taste for what the classes are like, for what the workshops and courses are like. I always do at least one guided meditation per class. And so that would give you an idea of what that looks like. How does that sound? Does that sound interesting? Let me see what you're writing about in the messages here. This sounds all right. Holly likes it. That's great. Thank you, Holly Depp. That's cool. And so, Are You Spiritual also likes it. That's good. So let's see. Let me see if it makes sense to try this out right now. I have never tried to do a general tarot read. So let me do this for you right now, right? I can do... Guys, put in the description if you would like me to do a mercurial read right now, a venereal Venus read, or a solar read. Harry Sankar, thank you so much for your super chat there. I'll take a look at your question after I've done this general read, right? Mercurial, says Kev Shannon. I'll look at the first, how many, 25 people in watching. I'll look at the first 7 messages, and I'll take the whoever gets it. Okay, 2 mercurial, 1 solar. That's 3 messages. So far, mercurial is getting it. Oh, solar. All right, Tuesday is Mars. Yes. Yeah. But I'm not offering to do a Martial read. I'm offering to do a mercurial, Venusian, or solar. Oh, we've got 3 solar, 2 mercurial. Martial, not Martian. Yeah. Yep. Not doing Mars. Either Mercury or solar seems to be getting the advantage right now, and solar takes it. All right, let's do a solar read. So this is the way I propose to do it. I'm going to actually start off with 3 of my Foolish Fish Folk and Fairy Tale cards of Fate and Fortune. Just to get an idea of what the topic should be, right? So let's take a look. And you shall take a look at your questions afterwards, okay? I'm not going to be doing many personal reads today. All right, so yeah. Need to do a short trip to restart your visa. I'll take a look at those in a moment, okay? Yeah, generally, guys, I'm going to ask you to yeah, we're really not going to do very many. I'll do the ones that are already up. Okay, those of you who have sent super chats, I will answer your questions. But let's see. All right, we've got Rapunzel. We've got the young man who would have his eyes opened. Oh yeah, we've got a little bit of glare there. It's not ideal. There's the way it goes. All right. And then the old witch. Let's take a look. So this is the topic. The prince climbed up, but there he found not his beloved Rapunzel, but the witch, who looked at him with angry and wicked eyes. So I'm going to assume that what we're actually talking about here, since we're doing a solar read, quite a lot of solar glare there, right? Very appropriate. Let me see if I move this a little bit. Yeah, not too bad. Since we're doing a solar read, so spiritual, I'm going to assume that this is talking about expectation versus what you in fact end up with, right? The second card, which is your attitude, right? The viewer, you the viewer, your attitude towards this phenomenon. And we've got the young man who would have his eyes opened. My son, do not follow after empty knowledge, which will not bring you happiness, but rather evil. Right, I mean, this sounds pretty much in line with what the topic is, isn't it? If you are like most people, you will have an assumption that that the things that you can get out of magic are going to be one thing or another, right? We all have assumptions about what magic can bring, and yet some of what magic can bring great joy, and other things that magic can bring can be really quite devastating. Of course, is the final outcome, which is interesting, but yes, the process can be quite curious and quite difficult for sure. And then we've got the old witch, right, as the recommendation, the general recommendation, yeah, the attitude to take on this topic. When she heard that this girl had left her home to seek service, she said that she would try her and give her good wages. So generally the outcome is, or rather the attitude that is helpful in this situation, is to understand that that the wages of magic are positive on the whole in the end. The effort that you put in is very often the effort that you get back out, right? So let's take a look, folks, what the general read is using the tarot here about this topic of what to expect versus what you get, right? What you expect versus what you get when you get into a magic path. You've got the Page of Cups and the Queen of Swords as the general topic here. Let me see if I can. Yeah, so the Page of Cups reversed. Yeah, the Page of Cups is a really nice representation of that, isn't it? You're expecting something fun and frivolous, but actually what you end up with is deep insight. Yeah, very very how to say, very cutting, very no nonsense insights, right? That's very often what you end up with in magic. And if we move on to the second pile over here, or second group of cards, the beginning of a magical path can very much feel like devastation. And many people do give up very early. Oh, we've got a couple of cards here. We've got the 10 of coins and we've got the 6 of swords. 10 of coins is the right way up. It's upright, and the 6 of swords is reversed. Yeah, the 6 of swords represents, let me bring that a little closer, represents, let me put it upright so you can see it, moving from choppy waters here to much calmer waters. And that's definitely not what magic gives you, right? It's not about making your life more comfortable or more stable. It is about bringing about chaos in your life on the short term, yeah? But the point and the reason for it all is so that you can end up exactly where you're supposed to be with that divine path, with the perfect ending. We've got 2 10s here, and I guess these are the two possible outcomes. There's very often the short-term outcome and the long-term outcome. The short-term outcome, which you work through, of course. And then over here, you have the whole reason and what you get when you have worked through that difficult situation that magic very often brings about. There we go. Okay, so for those of you who are just joining right now, I'm not really doing personal reads today. I'm giving an insight into the kind of content that I'd like to start making more of going forwards. This is a solo read, so solo reads will be spiritual reads, which will be exclusive for level 3 and up members. I'll be doing one of those every Sunday. I'll be doing a mercurial read about finances and money and career every Wednesday, which will be public, and I'll be doing a Venus read every Friday, which will be about relational topics, right? Relation to a romantic partner, relation to family, relation to self, relation to just psychological concepts and things like this. And then on every first Saturday of the month, I'll be doing a guided meditation, and every Friday I will also record the news. It's no longer going to be recorded on Thursdays for members. It'll be recorded on Fridays for members and released publicly on Saturdays instead of released publicly on Fridays, just because it makes more sense. So there we go. That's what we're doing right now. And so people in the comments here voted and decided that a solar read, which is an example of what I would be doing on Sundays, especially for level 3 and up members, what they can expect. And so the topic is generally the way people approach magic in the first place, expecting something and getting something quite different in the end, and how frightening that can be, but how beneficial in the end that invariably ends up being. Okay. Let's continue with the read, and let's find out what you as the viewer can possibly expect next, right? Just generally as a collective, what you can what you can expect in your own spiritual or magical path. We've got the Nine of Wands reversed. Well, the Nine of Wands is this this energy of the wounded soldier, right? This is very much a card that that comes up when you've been through a lot, when you've been through a lot and you're tired and you feel like you'd like to give up, but the fact that it's reversed here tells me that that quite on the contrary, you're persevering, and this Five of Wands very much leans into that, right? Leans into that idea of fighting for your right to stand, your right to this human legacy that is magic. Every human being has a right to magic, and yes, and as we've been seeing, the pathway into magic can be choppy, it can be difficult, it can be painful, but it seems like you, as a collective watching right now, you don't mind a little bit of choppy. It would be nice if choppy weren't normal, right? It would be nice if it was possible to just, you know, ask for something and get it. But that's not the reason why we're here, is it? That's not the point of being alive. We come into this world in a particular state. It would be very sad to leave this world unchanged, unimproved, just in the same state as we've always been. That's not the point, is it? We want to improve ourselves, we want to improve the world around us, and if it takes a little bit of battle, if it takes a little bit of fight, then that's what it takes, right? All right, let's take a look at what the recommendation is for the collective, and let me just keep a little eye on the time to get an idea of how long this particular read has taken. I think I would ideally like these reads to go on for 25 minutes. I think 25 minutes is nice. I think many people doing the washing up probably like a 25-minute video. Oh, lots of cards coming out. No, I'm not going to take those. And then, of course, if somebody doesn't have 25 minutes, you can put it on double speed, because I speak quite slowly. You can probably understand what I'm saying if you put it on double speed. And so, yeah, I think 25 minutes, a 25-minute read would be nice. Oh, loads and loads of cards turning over once again. Come on. I just want one card, just like that. There we are. The Knight of Pentacles reversed. So, the recommendation for you watching with regards to your magical path is, don't take it too slow. Yeah, and don't run away. Yeah, the Knight of Pentacles is the card that really, it's so slow it's almost stuck. It's not stuck, but it's kind of stagnant. You know, the Knight of Pentacles is really, yeah, he's not moving. As you can see, his horse is standing, and the Knight of Pentacles is having a little think. You might think of that horse like an armchair, possibly, right? We talk about armchair magicians, and I've said many times that there's nothing wrong with armchair magicians. If your goal is to learn a lot about magic, then that's wonderful. But learning a lot about magic is not putting magic at your fingertips. And so the recommendation here is to maybe observe how much you enjoy being in that in that armchair. Of course, there's no evolution, as Very Happy Mondays is saying in the comments here. There's no evolution in stagnant comfort. Yeah, although comfort does have its appeal, you're quite right. So this card is inviting you to take a look at if you really want to be in that armchair. And how that's serving you, and considering, you know, if it's maybe time to start putting some of your knowledge into action. And this is, it's a general read, of course, but this applies to anyone at any stage of their magical practice. You know, absolute beginners, of course, armchair magicians, but also magicians who do practice, right? I guess we can all observe within ourselves how comfortable we feel, how much we like being in our comfort zone, and to think about whether there are particular directions in which we could take our magical practice, just to push it a little bit further. Yeah, this Eight of Cups over here is a card once again of avoidance, yeah, of running away here. Yeah. Why is Rapunzel in this card set? This is special. I will talk about that in a second. Yeah, so the Eight of Cups is avoidance. It's running away, right? It's that energy of I'm not sure this is for me kind of thing, right? And the card is reversed, and so it's a card inviting you to engage. It's a card inviting you to observe every time that you feel unstable, unsure, wanting to retreat back to the sofa, maybe to the armchair, and so it's a card that's inviting you to get involved, yeah, to get involved in the moment, in the material world, in what's wonderful about magic, which is the doing of the magic. There we go. So there we go, folks. That's kind of the format that I'd like to do a little bit more of. I wouldn't be doing these live, right? I wouldn't be doing them live. I don't think I'll be doing them live. I think I'll be doing them, I'll be recording them and then making them available. So what I just did would be a solar read, and those would go out every Sunday for the level 3 and up members. So that's YouTube members and also Patreon members. So that would be on Sundays. And this would be a replacement for the time that I was spending previously, right, on finding all your names and getting them all in the alphabetical order, and removing the names that had of members who had not renewed their memberships and so on. So it was just taking a huge amount of time, and then a huge amount of money as well, because I was having to import all of this into Adobe Premiere Pro, which costs like cost me an additional 37 euros per month, and then sometimes it wouldn't work, it wouldn't scroll, and then I'd have to re-render the whole thing, so adding another 2 hours to the process of making a video, etc., etc. It was just an absolute nightmare. So this solo read would be the special perk for level 3 and up members, level 3 and level infinity members. So anyone who's subscribing at $10 a month and more. So every Sunday I would do one of these that I would aim to last around, yeah, exactly, administration. Not much fun, right? That I would aim to make last around 25 to 30 minutes, right? So that's generally the solo one. On Wednesdays, I would do available to everyone kind of thing, right? And that would be a mercurial tarot read. About finances, about your career, about travel and things like this. And so that would be available to everyone every Wednesday. And then on Fridays, I would do a Venus read, which would be about relational stuff. And then on Fridays, I would also record the news videos for members, and that would get released to all members. And then that news video would become public on Saturdays. So I used to do the news videos on Thursdays and release them on Fridays. Now I would record them on Fridays and release them on Saturdays. So there we go. That's the general idea. Now, somebody was asking, Dawn Rose, yes, was asking why these cards are here. The cards basically gave me the overall topic, right? The overall idea of what to talk about today. It's ultimately an excuse to talk about esoteric topics. Today I'm doing it for the very, very first time, so maybe it was a little bit dry. My aim would be to do the read for sure, but to really interject whatever comes to my mind about the topic that I'm reading about, right? It's just a way of keeping things quite informal, but still being able to talk about exciting topics that everyone's interested in, if that makes sense. There we go. So, folks, let me do a quick couple of reads there for those of you who put in some super chats. Let's see, I am going to... Now, I don't have any no more super chats, please, card in this new setup, but yeah, I will ask you for no more super chats for today, but I will read for the couple of super chats that are here. I'll just put a message here. No more questions, please. Boom. There we go. There we are. So let's have a little read here for the first question, which was, should I buy a street trials bike? Is street trials for me? Interesting. Okay. Let's give these cards a bit of a riffle shuffle. Do that one more time. Good. The Fool, 9 of coins, 4 of cups. I think this is the way I have to do it, right? I can't really just put them in a line. Okay. 4 of cups, 4 of coins. Ace of cups, Knight of pentacles reversed. Ooh, I've got to be careful with that. There we go. That's what I brought this for. Boom. Does that work? Yeah. Boom. There you go. Got to be careful on YouTube. And then the 2 of cups. Right, well, let's take a look. You seem quite excited to do this. It seems like it's something that you've been wanting to do for a while, possibly, and something that's going to make you feel like you're doing something for yourself at last, which is nice. But you don't want to be spending money on stuff that you're not going to be using, right? Which makes sense. Yeah. Should I buy a street trials bike? There's the question right there, right? You want to be a little bit careful with your money, and you don't want to pass up on an opportunity. Yeah, this is something that you want to do. It's not like you don't want this. Yeah, if the Four of Cups had been upright, I would have said maybe don't bother. But no, the Four of Cups is reversed, and that to me tells me that it's something that you care possibly quite a lot about. Yeah. Let's see. Well, with the Knight of Pentacles reversed here, it does seem to me like what to expect in the near future is speed rather than the slowness, right? And with the Ace of Cups here, it does seem like it's going to be bringing some very strong, happy, exciting emotions. Now, with the Lovers and the Two of Cups in the recommendation, I wonder if, and there are a few ways to interpret this, but seeing the Lovers and the Two of Cups and the Ace of Cups here, I don't know. I'm wondering whether there is precisely someone on the horizon that, like even a romantic someone, you know, on the horizon that could be sharing a similar passion with you, but certainly if that's not the case, the recommendation is very much go for it. You should do the thing that you're passionate about. You should reach out to the thing that's been on your mind clearly for a long time, right? It's the thing that makes you feel independent. It's the thing that makes you feel alive. If there's any possibility of borrowing something, right? Possibly the Lovers here of borrowing something maybe once or twice just to see how it feels. Maybe do that first, but let me just grab one more card here. It's the indecision card, isn't it? It's the indecision card. Yeah, I think that if you experience it, if you haven't already, of course, but if you experience it, you'll know. You will know if this is something for you or not. But the cards are certainly suggesting that you would benefit from this tremendously, from a personal sovereignty perspective. There we go. Hopefully that helps. Let's take a look at the next question from Ayush Kandari. Can you tell about my love life? I'm single currently. Let me just grab all of these and give the cards another shuffle. So tomorrow is Wednesday, and so I think today is going to be the final live tarot read. So from now on, of course, if you want a tarot read, I'm still doing one-to-one tarot reads, which are much more in depth than these 5-minute affairs. I spend an hour with you and we go very deep into the topic, and you tell me exactly what kind of aspects you want to look into and stuff like this, and we ask the tarot what would be good for you to know about and things like this, and then we talk about solutions and how to get to where you want to be and things like that. But that, yeah, for that you'll need a one-to-one meeting with me, and there are links to have a one-to-one video chat with me in the description of the video. Let's take a look at the second question here. Can you tell me about my love life? From Ayush. Come on. Okay, we've got the Knight of Cups, the Four of Coins, the Magician, the Ace of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, the Eight of Swords, and then the Page of Swords reversed, and the Eight of Coins. That Knight of Pentacles is reversed as well. What can we learn from this about Ayush's love life? Generally, you have a very romantic soul, but I wonder if maybe you've been hurt and like to protect yourself. There is, I don't know, I wonder if you know what attachment style you have, if it's possibly an anxious attachment style, right? An attachment style where you like to hang on, and of course, this is something that I'd like to make an entire video about. There's nothing wrong with having an anxious attachment style. It's just that very often the ways we go about trying to get what we need when we have an anxious attachment style doesn't serve us, right? It doesn't give us the outcome, the result that we would like. So let's see. You're certainly manifesting something. You're certainly working possibly quite hard at manifesting a connection, and the process of working magically to manifest a positive, a beautiful connection is in itself rewarding for you and healing for you, and you're already experiencing the benefits within yourself, and it seems like your relationship with yourself is looking quite beautiful right now, which is, of course, has to be the first step. If you continue what you're currently doing, however, with no changes, just what you're doing, the way you're thinking about things, what you're currently doing, what we have is a couple of things. Well, first of all, just feeling a little trapped. Yeah, feeling a little trapped. Although getting out of your current state, which is good, right? Making steps, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back is better than no movement whatsoever, and it is the movement that you can expect. Unfortunately, it is kind of the normal way ahead. But yes, just a sense of yeah, things not necessarily being stagnant anymore, thanks to possibly some of the work that you're doing on yourself, but still a sense of not being in the position of not having the agency over your romantic relationships that you would like to have. Okay, so what are your recommendations? Okay, the Page of Swords reversed here. I'm going to say that there is so much information out there on how young men can have a relationship, and it's all contradictory, it's all very confusing, and so yeah, just you're going to end up here if you spend all of your time finding out how to get an ideal relationship or things like this, right? This is the way ahead. You continue to work on yourself. You continue to do the things that make you passionate. You continue to develop your relationship to yourself. You continue to put yourself first. And as you do that, as you focus on yourself, as you focus on your work, as you focus on developing your domain, that is then the energy that others become attracted to. There we go. That's the read that I've got for you. It was a fun read, which is why it lasted a little bit long. Sorry about that, folks. All right, let's keep going. We got a question from Kev Shannon. I need to do a short trip to reset my visa. What kind of place should I go to? Ah, nice. Good question. I want to ask the Ching. Let me see. I'm going to use deepware changes, and you can see it working live now, right? That's cool, isn't it? So you'll be able to see me tapping on the screen as I think about your question, Kev Shannon, and you'll be able to see down here the numbers 6, 7, 8, and 9 appearing, which builds up the hexagram. So let's have a think. Where should Kev Shannon go to reset their visa? So very straightforward, no changing lines, just approach the great encourages the growth of the small. It's springtime, everything is flowering, tasks move forward and optimism reigns, but this condition will not last forever. What keywords here are particularly interesting here? I think that springtime, flowering, anywhere that would put you in nature. At this time of year, that might be a little bit difficult. I don't know. It depends on what part of the world you're writing from, Kev Shannon. Depending on whether it needs to be immediately or if you can wait 2 or 3 months. And whether it should be somewhere close or somewhere very far. But it does seem like somewhere that's going to put you in beautiful nature, not just mountains, right? Although there's nothing wrong with mountains if you'd like to go to the mountains, but to a country where the flora is of interest to you specifically. I'm thinking possibly the sakura of Japan, or maybe the tulips of Holland, right? Possibly the gardens, the palace gardens in Paris. Where else has particularly beautiful flora that's renowned for its flora? Those are the kinds of places. Of course, you will know better than me what flora you're particularly attracted to, but that seems to be significant. Let me just draw a couple more cards for you, just to get an idea. go. Oh. I see a laurel wreath there. Oh, interesting. The laurel wreath is attributed to Apollo. I wonder if Greece could be a good idea. Once again, Kev Shannon, I'm not sure where you're writing from, but yeah, a trip to Delphi maybe? Oh, there's a card that flipped over there. Where are you? Ah, there you go. Yes, not somewhere you've been to before, hoping that the trip would be different this time or anything like that. Yeah, and I'm going to say possibly a place that would be just energetically more... Oh, I see, not Egypt. Is that funny? Never noticed that in before, those pyramids. How had I never noticed those pyramids? That's funny, isn't it? So yeah, it seems like not Egypt, but generally just not a place where you would go for the for the history and the human endeavors and the architecture and things like that in general, right? So not a city break, and not a beach break, but actually a nature break. Yeah, all right. Yeah, and not something that's going to cost you too much as well. There we go. Hopefully that helps, Kev Shannon. All right. And then finally, let's see. Solar for my spiritual path, and me with Mother. And Harry Shankar, thank you so much for that very, very kind super chat. That's super cool. Thank you so much. Let's take a look for somebody else as the final read for today, about spiritual path for somebody else. To cover their modesty once again. Here we go. Okay, so let's see. Going to say that at the moment you're really struggling to find a very specific path. There are so many options, and making a particular choice is just not working out for you right now. You're really struggling to work out exactly what direction you're supposed to be going in, and I wonder if maybe some of the directions that you've taken in the path have put you on a collision course with other people's opinions of what's right for you. I wonder if maybe some... I don't know if this is to do with your mother or not, but it does seem like like there is even some disappointment, I don't know, regarding this situation, right? Yeah, and you've really had to defend your where, yeah, what your choices, your spiritual choices. If you continue the way you're currently going, what you're going to end up doing is spending a lot more time fighting than yeah, with that Five of Wands, than actually developing yourself spiritually, which is not ideal. It's not what you aspire to. Of course, you want a strong spiritual development, and so the recommendation, in fact, is not to involve family, not to spend too much time wondering if your ancestors would be proud of you or anything like that. And actually, the Ace of Swords reversed might be specifically about keeping quiet, about your magical practice, about your spiritual path, keeping this, at least for the moment, between you and the spirits with which you work. I think it's quite a straightforward read. That's what I got for you. There we are. All right, let me take a look at some more of your messages, folks. I feel responsible for my dog's death. Can you do a reading about that? Oh, that sounds really, really tough, boy, Matt. I'm afraid I won't do a read about it, but my heart goes out to you. I feel like we, me and my family, let him die rather than try to cure him aggressively. You can't think like that, boy, Matt. I've been in so many situations, and again, you know, I don't do reads about health at all, yeah. Anyway, but you know, I've spoken to some people who've asked me to help with health situations, and it's always so uncomfortable because I have to point out that, you know, we're talking about matters of very much of the material world, right? And yeah, magic does have influence over the material world, but it's not, you know, it's not it's not something that, the material world is not something that we have mastery over. And so if you had aggressively spent time aggressively trying to cure him, you might have done really nothing else, nothing more than prolong his suffering, again, just his or her suffering. You can't think like that. You have to be grateful for the time that you've had with your dog, and be grateful for the new disease-free form that your dog now has. That's essential. You have to, yeah, really, you can't start thinking, you know, should I have done things differently, because it's not a useful question. Yeah, it's not a question that that can have a useful outcome, whether it's yes or no. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. There we go. All right, folks. You live in Greece, somebody else. Interesting. I worship Apollo and have a relationship. Okay. Very cool. Very, very cool. Well, I wonder if precisely yeah, yeah. Clearly, going to Greece is not going to help. But yes, the flora seemed pretty significant. Great. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here this evening. And thank you so much for being with me for all of these live readings. It's been so much fun. I've really enjoyed my time with you guys. I don't want to give up entirely on these live opportunities. I'd like to do them from time to time. It might be a members only thing. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet how that can work. For the moment, as I say, those are the plans. Wednesdays, a general Mercury tarot read. Fridays, a general Venus tarot read. Plus, I would record the esoteric news for members. Then on Saturdays, I would release those esoteric news videos to the general public. And the first Saturday of every month, I would do a guided meditation, which would give you a taste for what the guided meditation parts of the courses that I give, right? What they feel like. And then on Sundays, I would do a general solar tarot read, a spiritual tarot read, very focused on magic, and just because it wouldn't be very wide audience friendly, right? It would be very specifically for people who are very specifically interested in magic. And so that would be a perk for level 3 and up members. That's currently the way I'm seeing things. So there we go, folks. Thank you so much once again. Oh, thank you, Bradley Humphrey. That's so kind. So kind. Is rebirth and reincarnation true? I do believe in rebirth and reincarnation. I don't necessarily believe that that is a very vast topic, and I could probably talk for about an hour on that. But generally, yes. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for liking the live. That's really kind. Thank you. Very happy Mondays. I really appreciate it. That's very cool. All right, folks. Thank you again, everyone. Really appreciate your time. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. See you soon. Bye-bye.